Shir sponsor Lu Nishmas I'm back with Shalom Muleh Bas Yitzchok. Continue with Yeshiva Daf. Learning Daf Vav. We're in the top of the Amud, top of Amud Aleph, at Tzad Hashavah Shabbat. So Zog Da'il the Gemara. Says the Gemara, what is the Tzad Hashavah? What we're coming to add? We're saying we have different overs to Zikin. But then you have Tzad Hashavah Shabbat, you have the common denominator between everything, and from there you learn to other things. What are you learning from? Says the Gemara, La'asui Mai, what is it coming to add? Oma Abayi, La'asui Avnoi, Sakinoi, Umasoi, She'nichon, Berush Gagri. Person goes, puts his stone, his knife, or his carry-on, the top of his roof, V'noflu Beruach B'tziyu V'ziku. And it fell, Beruach B'tziyu, and it caused an ezek. That's the case we're coming to that. It says in Yeshiva, what's exactly the case? If we're talking about that they are, sorry, mazik as they're going, I mean, while they're falling from the roof, they're causing an ezek. So that is Eish. Maish, koyach acher muraboy. There's something else involved in the Eish. What's involved in the Eish? The wind. So here you have the wind, or gravity, right? So they're pushing it. And it's your moment you have to guard it. Haninami koyach acher murabeim. So, what's the difference between you having fire that you need the wind, or you have things that are flowing in the air from a roof and hitting somebody? They're both considered to be Eish. So I already know Eish. Now here it's important to mention what we saw, what's really brought down previous daf. No, the only thing that's different between Shusayel and Shusayel is only Shen Berega. But in other things, no. So now, just to mention what we saw in previous daf, we mentioned, I think, short, is that Toyses discusses, is Koyach Achem Urubeim, is it a kul or a chumrah? What does Koyach Achem Urubeim mean? Because there's a Koyach Acher. So that's the reason why it's Yuchayev, because it's a stronger power. Or it's the opposite. Koyach Achem Urubeim, so now really, it's not really your mom doing it alone. You have something else involved, so maybe a reason to be potter. So is it a reason to be Chali Potter? How do you treat Koyach Achem Urubeim?
And does it matter if it's a Ruach B'tzuyah?
Yeah. There will be enough kamina for something he doesn't have to think about.
But Eish, you could see even with a regular wind.
Ruach Shein Mitzuya, he will be Potter Eish as well.
Why?
Because he didn't have to know about it. It's holiness.
No, I'm saying, but Eish doesn't take much.
No, it's Ruach Mitzuya. Good time. Says the Gemara. We talk about it after it fell in the street. Then someone fell on it. Someone got stuck and fell. If you made it after, paying the Rav and the Shmuel line the bar. So now we'll see later. The Rav and Shmuel argue if a bar that you own is considered to be a bar or not. But if you did it after, everybody agrees it's a bar. So this will be a bar. It's like a bar. The start, when you started it, it's made for Nezek, it's right away a Nezek. It's not like an axe that needs to go and do a Hezek. It's right away Hezek. Also here it's right away Hezek. Over here means they made it your Mamoincho, even though you don't own it. Means it's your responsibility. With the guard. So if you're mafkir, it's bar. Hello, the left, you want to tell me you didn't make a mafkir. Shmuel Doma Kula Mi Bar Laman. According to Shmuel, even something which is not after you learn from Bar. Hainu Bar. There's Bar as well, because this is Bar. The question is, what about Rav? So, according to Rav, we're going to see later in the Chanami that this may be something which you do have to have a Tzad Hashavah, because according to Rav, you don't learn it so easily. So that's what just says Shmuel's Tzad. Says the Gemara, so according to Shmuel, I have a problem. What does the Mishnah come to add? Because when you have a knife, which is in the roof, falling to the ground, so if it's doing the air, it's Eish. Once it fell on the ground, it's a bar. So I already know that. Says the Gemara, Lo Ilom Daf Karino. He didn't make it after. Lo Ilom the bar. It's not exactly a bar. Ma bar she'ain koyach achem uraboy. Try be'ani she'koyach achem urabeim. No, but by bar, nobody else was involved in creating this bar. What created the bar? He dug a hole. He did it. Here you have Koyach Achim Urbeim. Here the Mashmos is the what? Because Koyach Achim Urbeim is more of a reason to be Mekel. The creation of this bar is more reason to be Mekel. That's what Toys brought it Le'el as a right. You see from here, the Koyach Achim Urbeim, he makes it easier. Because you want to say, this is not a bar. A bar, you do it on your own. Here you have Koyach Achim Urbeim. Right? So the Koyach Achim Urbeim is a reason for it to be Mekel. So Toys brings a rayo. Koyach Achim Urbeim is a reason to be Mekel. So since Toys says Le'el that there's a big, that here we're talking about to create the nezek. Now while you're doing the nezek, there's two different parts. There's one part is when the nezek is being happening, like when the item is on the roof and it falls from the roof and hits somebody. Here, Koyach Achim Urbeim may be making chomer because it's not only falling its own, it has wind that helps it. But here we're not talking about that it fell during its fall. When it did the nezek, it was already stationary. But to prepare it, to make it a bar, that's a cool one. I didn't do it myself, someone else helped me. Then wind. The Eish moves, it's not moving. So says the Gemara, this is what we're coming to have. We're coming to have this case of a item that fell from the roof to the ground and caused the nezek, but still it's not exactly a bor, it's not exactly a heish. You have to have a tzad hashom. Talking about a bor which is being moved by an odom beim, meaning it was being thrown. You have let's say a stone, or you have an item, and you have an odom beim walking in the street, and they kick it. And while they kick it, and when you kick it, and they cause a nezek with the kicking. What's exactly the case? Idaf cremated hefker being the Rav and the Shmuel and the bor. Why is it bor? Because once he's mafker, it's a bor. Once it fell, ma'ishna bor sheket chilaz asiyosel nezek shvasol lecho. You start as a nezek shvasol lecho. Ani nami chasiyosel nezek right away in the beginning. It's the nezek. You have to do something shvasol lecho. Hello, the lo hefkerinu. You want to say it's not hefker? The Shmuel, according to Shmuel, all the cases that you own it. You learn from Bor, Hainu Bor. So it's ready, it's also Bor. Says the Gemara, Lo Ilom Dafkerinu. He is Mafkirit. Filoi Domi Labor. My Labor, Shikin Maisov Gor Muloi. The Bor, who did it? He did it himself. He dug the hole. Turn Ba'ani Shein Maisov Gor Muloi. He did there was other people involved doing it. Says it was Shayach. You're right from Shar. He didn't do it. He's not doing it to the nezek. The animal went on his own. Shor goes from place to place. Here we're talking about that it's stationary. It's stationary. So similar idea. Before we compared it between Bor and Eish. Now we're comparing it between Bor and Shor. Come and speak to me about Bor Mizgal, B'Raglu Odom, B'Raglu Beim. Now, the Toys is discussed over here. What about who's chayav in this case? In this case that we just talked about, you have an Adam walking around and he kicks the stone. Kicks let's say not a stone, just make it easy. He kicks a knife that belongs to somebody. He kicks it, and now you create a bor in another place. Who's chayav? The one who kicks or the owner? Or he didn't do it alone, someone else was joined it. So who's chayav? So that's what they're going to discuss over here. And Toys brings a gears over here that says, if it's going as you pushing it, koichu. It's koichu. Why is it koichu? Meaning the one who's doing it is chayav. That's what he brings. Because the one who's kicking it, he's the one that's his koyach. He should be chayav for it. Right, so that's what this one is saying. So begins that the way what Tej brings up is the idea, if you have someone else involved over here, who is chayav? So this is a svar. He says, what happens if a person goes and he throws an animal into a bar?
Throws an animal to what?
Into a bar. Who's chayav? So Tais says, no pashute, svar pshuta, that the one who threw the shor is chayav, not the balabor. Even the balabor left open place over here. At the end of the day, if the animal went out, throw the animal into, if the person went out, throw the animal into the bar, when they die, the adam is chayav. So the Achronim explain what's the svara, because all these nizikin that we have is nizikin that do things on their own. That's meaning a person who dug a bar, he's chayav for the cases that it's done on its own. But if someone else is involved in pushing into the bar, and it's not done on its own, that's not part of the definition of the nezek. That's because I'm creating here something who's causing harm. But if I didn't cause the harm, even though I was involved, that's not part of the nezek. So since there's no pasha, then the adam is chayav. Okay. Says more about the Bava Omar Lasuya at the time bring another case outside the shofar. What is that? Kolelu shomu poiskim bibirasem vigorfim marasem. Chazal avatakano. How do you get rid of the sewage? Right? Today you have the sewage system. Right? So you have pipes. But what did they do back in the day when they didn't have pipes? What did you put it into? So you put it into the field. There was virus. One of the solutions was you put it into the street. Why? The street was a place where people walked. There was dirt anyway. So you put it there. So they said, "Poiski b'yosem v'gorfim marasem." Poiski means that you empty out your pipes. V'gorfim marasem, it means that you take out the dirt from a cave, all the dirt, add it up. You can put it into shuzarabi. So the Mishnah says that this thing is it's a bright. Sorry, they can do it. They can't do it in the summer. Everything is dry and beautiful. You do it in the winter, anyway, it's muddy and full of rain. Then you can do it. Even though you're allowed to do it, even though Rabbanan allowed the Adam to put his dirt into Rosh Hashanah, but there was a caveat over there. You can put it in Rosh Hashanah as much as you want. But if you're doing that, you have to be responsible. If someone gets hurt, you need to pay for it. So that's the case of the Mishnah's coming down. The Mishnah said all kinds of things. That's not the Shavah Shabbat. And the common theme is this. So you can add other things. This is going to be this. So more again, why do you need a special Tzad Shavah? Hey, what's the case? If while he's throwing the water out of his pipes, out of his the plumbing system, he throws it out of the house, then it hurts somebody. That's considered to be his koyach. It's Adamaz. Tell me once it landed on the ground, someone slipped and got hurt. Hey, Chidan, what's the case? We made it half care. And the rabbi in the shul in the bar. It's a bar. You started it started as a nezik. You don't have to go anywhere. So it's a moich shvas alecho. So also here it starts as a nezik. It's something which has caused damage, and it's your property. So l'chor that's Ava Shavar. Ela do hefker. It's not a hefker. It's the same question. Shmuel Domer Kulam Mibur Laman. According to Shmuel, any stationary item, I don't care if you own it or you don't own it, it's a bar. High in bar. So if it's a bar, I know bar. So the Gemara now is trying to figure out let's just wait. The Gemara now just said this. The Mishnah said that we have many overs to Zikim. And Tzad Shavah Sheboim, the common denominator between all them is that it's your moment and your chayiv. So what are you coming to add that we didn't mention? What else that we should mention? We just missing, and you're saying Tzad Shavah Sheboim. You see all what we just mentioned over here. Arba'am is the Zikin, or according to Abishai, we have more. What are we coming to add over here? So says the Gemara, 3 options we had down the Amud. Option number 1 is you have a knife, your package, or your stone you put on the roof. So what's exactly the case? It fell to the floor. That's not considered to be a regular nezik because you didn't put it on the floor alone. The wind threw it to the floor. So you have someone else involved. So I need that tzad shorosh. The second case is bar mizgal gebragel to begel. That there was a item that was being thrown, was kicked by a human being or by an animal, and landed. And the third case the Gemara says over here is when a person has rishus to go and empty out his plumbing system, and he puts the rishus rabim, he's chayav. That's the case, he's chayav. So why is this different than any other bar? That's all three cases the Gemara says the same deal. So why is this different than bar and the shor and the eish? So I'm saying, a person puts his sewage into a shusarabi. So it's like as if he put a bar, as if he dug a hole. Says the Gemara. So if you made it hefker, it's of course a bar. At the hefker in the Shmuel doma kulim bar laman no ein bar. If you didn't be mafker according to Shmuel, if you still own it, it's still a bar. So you did a bar. Because no, the simple understanding is as hefker. Sewage, you threw it to the floor and let him mafker it. He literally mafker. He said, anybody wants to take it, come take it. I don't own it anymore. I take my sewage to the floor. Anybody wants to come use it, he wants to go and fertilize his field, take it. Hefker. There was Pashup shot as hefker. Actually, what's hard to understand, how you not mafker? You put sewage into Shus Rabim, what do you mean? Not hefker. So I can't take it? You put your dirt in Shus Rabim. I put my dirt in Shus Rabim. Mafker. Huh? So the real question is, what is the first round of the Gemara? The Gemara says, if it wasn't mafker it, so then if it was, the Gemara would say if it was mafker it, so it's for sure bar. If he's not mafker, according to Shmuel is a bar. How does it check? He's not mafker it. That's something to understand. Okay. So says the Gemara, Lo yilum dafkerin. He did mafker. The learn dominant bar is not a bar. The reason why you can't learn it as a regular simple bar, the reason is malabor shekan shaloi b'shus. Turn be'ani sheb'shus. It's like a more simple thing. Are you allowed to dig a hole in the shus rabim? You're not allowed to. So you did something which is not permissible. That's a bar. But here you're allowed to do it. They allowed you to put your sewage in shus rabim. So that's why it's not exactly like a bar. So says the Gemara. So let's begin a different line. Look at that volume of the base. Sure, you're chiach. Sure, you're allowed to walk in Shus Rabim. And the animal's allowed to walk in Shus Rabim. But if you went and did a Karen, it's chayav. Malashosh can die kolechulazik. Sure, it walks. Vor tuchiach, it doesn't walk like the sewage doesn't walk. So more of a chazar. You come with a common denominator. Tell me that you're going to learn from Shor and Bar to teach you about sewage.
Question: if he puts the kites, it's not allowed.
Right. So then the then it'll for sure be a bar. Then it'll be a bar. Then I don't have to get a tzad shorosh. Now there's enough kamina. Mendy here is pointing out something very important. Why? Because the Rishonim have a machlekes. When you learn from two different things, do you get the kulos of both things or not? The Rosh learns, if I learn from Bar and from Eish, I have all the kulos of Bar and Eish. What's the kula of Eish? According to Tanakama, you put her on Talmud if it's hidden. If you burn a pile of clay, of straw, and in the straw you have inside some treasure, you put her on the treasure. Talmud you put her. On Bar, you put her in Adon V'Kelim. Human beings, a vessel, you put her in a bar. If you learn something from a tzad shavel, bar and shar, and bar and eish, you would be pottered on all these things. Talmud, Adam, Caleb. That's the Rosh learns. You learn tzad shavel, you learn all the kulos. Other Rishonim argue, and one of the shittas in the Rishonim is that it depends on the characteristic of what it is. What it really is, like in this case, that you have sewage, it's a bar. Yeah, but I have one detail that's not like a bar because you didn't start it. You started with shus. Oh, that detail I learned from Shor. But it's still a bar. It's a bar with one detail we learned from Shor. So do I look at this as now a hybrid, bar Shor? Or really it's a bar that you learn one detail from Shor? Now, if Kami knows what Wendy pointed out. Because in this case, if I have the sewage that I put in the Rosh Hashanah during the summer, it's a bar. So the chur will be, if you learn like the Rosh, there will be a difference if you put the sewage during the summer, during the winter, it causes a hezek. Because during the winter, you have to learn from bar and shar. So you have the coolers of shar. If you're doing the summer, you don't have the coolers of shar. I hope you have Kamina. Gewaltige point. Says the Gemara, if you know Amar, La Suya Adidan is coming to add, the Tzad Hashav is going to add, HaKoisel Va'ilon, Shenoflu Shusarabim V'yiziku, Potum L'Shah. A person has a wall, and the wall, or a tree, that suddenly, unexpectedly, fell to Shusarabim. You're potter. Why you potter? I'm not supposed to know my wall is going to fall. The Torah goes and explains it on the It's crazy. Like the municipality came, and they went to the guy and said, your tree is in a very dangerous position. We're estimating it's going to fall. So you have right now a week to go and fix it. Right? And it fell during that time, Potter. He gave him time. He said you have 30 days to remove this damage. So 30 days after, so then he's not Potter during that time. But if 30 days pass, Chayav. It's Chayav. Oh, that's the case the Mishnah is coming to hand. So then once again, what's the case? If it was mafkir, the wall that fell, between the Rab and the Shmuel and the bar, that's Mamish bar. Ma'ishta bar the Zeker Matzoi. That here the more use a different lashon. Now that Chilas is Yosel Nezek, just realize that in Zeker Matzoi, it's very common for it to cause Nezek. So here in Zeker Matzoi, it's normal to cause Nezek. Idulav Kareem to make it hefker. Lishmuel Laman Kulim Bar Laman Akon Shmuel from bar. Hainu bar. That's bar. So I have over here bar. The Gemara does not mention what happens if it fell doing, right? While the wall is falling, the Gemara did not mention. The Gemara just said if it fell. So Toysa says at the end of Mumud Aleph, he says, Toysa wants to learn even if doing the field it fell. Even doing the fall, when the wall fell, and doing when it's in the air, it hit somebody. Not only when it landed, it hit somebody, and it's still a board. So Toys wants to learn. Okay, and Toys adds to it more. Toys says like this: what does the Gemara tell us? If I have a wall and they gave you a 30-day notice, and it fell during the 30 days, you potter. I have 30 days. After 30 days, you have. Is it after it fell or before it fell? Or during the nefillah? If the wall fell on the floor, he has 30 days to take it out. After 10 days, boom, the wall falls. And then someone is nitka, someone gets stuck in the wall. He's a chayv potter. That 30 days, they haven't done the 30 days. Says, of course it's chayv. Why didn't you remove the rubble? The wall fell. You were surprised. Okay. So now that you found out that it fell, you have to remove it right away. Get a truck and remove the whole thing. So, when the Gemara tells you that, when the Gemara says that during the 30 days it fell, it hit when it fell. As it's falling, it's hitting somebody. And the guy's, oh man, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize they gave me 30 days. It fell on day number 10. I didn't know. You potter. So, we're talking about here also doing the nefillah that caused the nezek. And that's the Gemara says it's a bar. That's the Gemara's holding right now. So Gemara says, "Lo ilom daf karino." He didn't mafkir. So he dom in the bar. Ma the bar she can't kilas as siyas nezek. That's the cloud that we said till now. Bar starts as a nezek. Here, when you started the wall was not a nezek. It was a wall. Turn be'ani shein kilas siyas nezek. It's not made for it. Shor yochich. So shor is not meant for nezek, but sometimes it causes nezek. Ma the shor she can darko leiluch lazik. Shor moves from place to place. Bar yochich doesn't move. The Chazer Adin, so that's how you have it Tzad Shove regarding a wall that fell. So the Gemara brought over here four kimtis. Four kimtis. Why? What's the Tzad Shove of the Gemara? Either we're talking about a package on the roof that falls, or we're talking about something that other people are kicking. Or you're talking about when a person gets permission to put his sewage in the Rishus Rabim, or when a wall fell unexpectedly. These are the four cases that the Mishnah is coming to hand. Says the Gemara. Kishizik chava mazik. Says when you have a nezek, so the one who's mazik needs to pay. Says the Gemara, Chav mazik, chayav mazik yibarli. Usually the Mishnah says chayav. What's chav without the yud? This Tana comes from Yerushalayim, and they speak in Yerushalayim. They speak short language. See in other places. Yad Eliyah brings you a list of places where you see that you speak lashon klila, easy lashon. So that's why instead of saying chayav, he said chav. Is there a difference in chav and chayav? So Torah says there is. Torah says chav is lashon choiva, an obligation, meaning you are chavin la'adam, right? Ein chavin la'adam ela b'fanav. Chavi means causing him a choiv, causing him to be in debt. That's chav. Chayav means an obligation. It's two different words. Chav means a debt, and chayav means that you're obligated to do something. It's a little different. So it says really you should usually word chav fits someplace not by us. Why should it be chayav? Lashon Yushar. The Maritz Chai says something very interesting over here. It says the first three mishnayos of Maseches Bava Kama, Seder Nezikin, are strange mishnayos. If you look at the mishnayos, it's not the normal way that the mishnayos are written. Why? So it says Rebbe wrote the mishnayos. Right? What did Rebbe do? He compiled all the different mishnayos that came to him. And he had three mishnayos of being Bava Kama that were written a little differently, and he kept the lashon. You have to understand why. Why did he do that? But this is really indication of the beginning of the Masechta. It's really written in a different lashon, this Mishnah. Says the Gemara, L'shan teshlumi nezek, you have to pay teshlumi nezek. Now this will remind us because we did have the sugya in Maseches Gittin. Now much you have the same sugya. Mitav sadeyu umitav karmoi yishalim. You have to pay the best. To pay the top. What does it mean, the top? Says the Gemara, mitav sadeyu shel nizak umitav karmoi shel nizak. Meaning, the nizak, the one who was hurt, you have to pay his best field. What does it mean you have to pay his best field? Explains the Gemara. The Gemara explain in a moment. Kiva says it's only coming to give you idis. We'll say what does it mean in a moment. What does it say? And of course, hegdish will be also that way. Says the Gemara, Shmuel. Ochel shmeino misham shmeino. Ochel kchusho misham shmeino. A person eats. One way to explain the way to read the question. The animal comes and eats a fat, juicy field. A fat, juicy field. But if the animal ate a bad field, you're going to pay juicy? What does it mean? You pay the best field of the nizak. Shmuel says you pay the best. Meita sadel shenizak. The best field of the one who got hurt. 1 second. Maybe she didn't eat the best field. He ate, the animal ate a garden. I don't know which one. It may be the very, very high value. It may be a low value. So you pay the best. That's what it means. If you know that it's low, you pay low. But if you don't know, you pay the best. So why does that make sense? If you know you ate a low value, you pay the low value. Now that you don't know if it's low or high, how's that possible? We know the rule. What's the rule? You want to take money from me, you have to be a proof. We don't know what it is. Why should I pay you more? That's what I asked. The Achronim here say, what was even the Havamim of the Gemara? So they want to say that, Rav Chanan explains, that the idea of Nezek is not to pay you money. It's to compensate you for your loss. Meaning a person lost something valuable, you need to give him something valuable instead. That's what it has to be. I'm not giving you money. Sometimes I can't give you the way to compensate you to give you the money. So here, the Havamim, that maybe, if I don't know what it is, the full compensation means to replace the best one he had. Hello, good choice. So this is one of the case. The case is like this. You have the best field of the nizak. The best field of the nizak is like the lowest field of the mazik. Reuben's shore, let's say, hurt Shimon's field. Shimon's best field is like the lowest field of Reuven. Here's the machlokes. Rabbi Shmuel saw b'din Nizak Shemina. Rabbi Akiva saw b'din Mazik Shemina. Rabbi Shmuel says you go based on the one who got hurt. You pay whatever his field is. So if his field, let's say valuations. Let's say the field, because it's always the value of the same thing. Let's say you have different grades of fields, A, B, C, D. The best field of Shimon is C, and the worst field of Reuven is C. Shimon got damaged. Reuven damaged Shimon. So it says in the pasuk, "Made of Sadel," you pay him the best field. Which field? The best field of Shimon. If Shimon's best field is C, so Reuven gives him C, even though Reuven has A. By time you Rabbi Shmuel. So that's what it says. Rabbi Shmuel saw with the I skipped. Sorry. Kiva saw with the Mazashim. Kiva says no. Reuven has to give his best field. Now they're all worth the same. Just to be clear, if he damages $100, he pays $100. He's not paying more. But it's better to have $100 of. I think that's the case. The example we're going to get to. It's better to have $100. It used to be at least $100 in Manhattan than $100 in Gaza. Right? Even if it's $100, it's a big field in Gaza. For the end of the day, it's more valuable. So this is A, B, C. So according to Rabbi Akiva, you give him the best A, whatever Reuben has the best. According to Rabbi Shmuel, you don't give him more than the best field of Shimon. So what's the reason Rabbi Shmuel? It says mitav sadeh mitav kar mishan. You pay the best field of who? But it says before that, it says that the shor went and ate a sadeh. Which sadeh did he eat? Shimon sadeh. So we talk about Shimon sadeh and we talk about Shimon's field when you want to pay. That's when the shore ate. They're both the nizak. Read the pasuk of Kiva. Read the words. We're talking about the one who pays. Don't take it out for the meaning. He will pay his best field. Rabbi Shmuel said, Have Gzir Shova takes away the simple mashmos of the pasuk, and Have mashmos of the pasuk. They both work. The case that we just said, that Shimon's best field is like Reuven's lowest field. So you give the best field of Shimon, not the best field of Reuven. But the simple understanding, the pasuk does have a meaning too. What's the meaning? Reuven has A and C. And there's an Edis Lenizak. Shimon has the best field. And the lower grade of Reuven is not valued as the grade of Shimon's best field. Meaning, Reuven has A and C. Shimon has B. So Reuven said, I want to give you C. I said, 1 second. I deserve B. My best field is B. I don't have B. What do you want to do? That's what it says. So we have this the worst field of the mazik, which is C. Doesn't have the worth of the Edis which is B. He doesn't have B. He gives him his best field, which is A, even though it's more than the value of the best field of Shimon. You can't tell you go take the worst, you take the best. So one thing, let's explain it. So what does it mean? It means like this. When you have, what Shmuel learns is, I have a contradiction. I have a Gzir Shova, and I have a pasuk. The Gzir Shova says, I'm following Shimon. The best field of Shimon, that's what you give, not more. The pasuk says, I follow Reuven. So this is how do I answer the contradiction? Very simple. If Reuven has a field which is worth like the best field of Shimon, he can give him the best field of Shimon, he doesn't have to give more. But if Reuven does not have a field worth like the best field of Shimon, only less than the field of Shimon, then he has to give him a better field. Reuven. Yeah, now comes this in. The quality wise. It's not the value, it's not the valuation, it's the location. Or it's the type of field. location, type of field.
Before you said it's more money.
No. I said clearly. That's what I said. 100,000 gas, 100,000 That's why I brought that example. They tell you the exact same money. It's worth the same thing. You sell it, you get the same money. But the question is, what's easier? What's more geschmack of field to have? So, Rabbi Akiva holds you don't doesn't agree with the Gzir. That's what comes out. So it comes out. The Bishmor says having Gzir al Pasuk is coming to two different cases. But in the case that Shimon has C and Reuben has C, but he has more, that's the machlekes of Bishmor and Akiva. Bishmor says to give him C. Akiva says he has to give him his best field, and that's the machlekes starts the sugya. Oh, we ran a little bit out of 30 minutes, so we will stop over here. And Be'ez Hashem, we will continue in the next daf.